Decimals, you will all note, if you are working in the English-speaking world, will look something like that. Where that one is the unit, normal counting number. Beyond that you have the tenths, and that one then is the tenths. And that one is the hundredths. Notice the hundredths has two numbers after the decimal point. I always say it kind of does go like in a triangle, but it's a triangle with its head topped off. So you have tens and tenths, and you have a point, which is the unit there, with a point there. I just pointed out because it's always a question. If a number is in its hundreds, it looks like that. But if it has a hundredth, it looks like that. I suppose you might say that there would be a unit there, but that would be 12 hundredths. It's also worth pointing out as well, if you ever have any dealings beyond the Anglo-Saxon world, in France, they will write a million. They'll write a decimal point as a comma. Okay? And you go, why would you do such a thing? Well, the advantage of that is actually for unit conversion. This was a number we saw yesterday, I think it was. It was the cost of a local art centre. And I had to remember that that wasn't, because it then had a million afterwards. And it took me about 3 minutes to remember that wasn't of over £1 billion or £1.5 billion that was being spent on the art centre, but that comma would be what you would write in English as that. So the use of the decimal point, which technically Miss Guppy would tell you very, very, very firmly, is in the middle and not on the bottom. Out of interest, do you know what it means if you've got it on the bottom? That is time. And that is decimals. So you have to be careful where the decimal point is, and you have to be careful what it is. Why do the French write it like that? Well, the reason why the French write it like that is if you have a measurement that is, say, that one, and that's in kilometres, that would also give you the measurement in other units as well, okay? Because it would also give it to you in metres, because that would be in English, but also in French, that many metres. And the point is that they are exploiting that slight frisson within decimals, that you write it exactly the same, whether it is in a big unit or a little unit. That frisson is not accidental. The fact that you can write numbers like that, and you can change them by putting them a decimal point in, was invented by the Babylonian priests, because it kept their lives easy.